Hi guys, in this tutorial we're gonna model a gingerbread man. As you can see in this drawing, I'm gonna use a reference image, and if you needed to, you can screenshot this one. You can also drag it from your folder and place it here, drop it here in your software, and it's gonna become this plane here that we're gonna use as a reference image. Alright, now I'm gonna move it down a bit, and I'm gonna go into the top view by pressing 7 on the keyboard. And now we are gonna start modeling by creating a cube. So I press Shift A, I had the cube, I scale it like this, and I'm gonna place it here over my reference image. I move it closer to the image, and now I go to Alt Z to activate the X-ray view. You can also press this button. And to enter edit mode, you can just press Tab on the keyboard, or you can go here and choose edit mode. Okay, now I select these vertices and I'm gonna scale them. So I press S, X to press them on the X-axis like this to create the neck. Also, I'm gonna scale it on the Z-axis. And now I'm gonna select these vertices and drag them here to create the whole body. I'm just gonna change the color of the image for a second so you can still see my shortcuts over that. Alright, now we need to add more vertices. And so I'm gonna create new edge loops by pressing Ctrl R. I'm gonna add one here where the arm begins, another one up here for the neck, also one in the middle, and another one here for the arm. Okay, now I can move my vertices to match the drawing better. This is the face where we're gonna extrude our arm. So, first of all, I'm gonna insert it by pressing I and move it forward a little bit. Now I add more edge loops with Ctrl R because I need more vertices to work with. Here I'm gonna need probably 2 edge loops like this. And now I can select all these faces here and press I again to insert and move it like we did before. Now on the top view we can adjust the vertices. I select these faces again and I press E to extrude them. Also, I'm gonna press S, X, 0 to flatten all these faces like this. I rotate them and I bring them here to the end of the arm. And of course we need more geometry, so I'm gonna add more vertices. So Control R again, like this. And as we did before, we move the vertices. You can also use the proportional editing to move more vertices at the same time. We want our 3D model to be more rounded and smooth, so I'm gonna select this loop here, this loop of faces, and I'm gonna scale it because I want it to be more rounded on the sides. I'm also gonna move this face here, like this. But we can also add a modifier. We can also add a subdivision surface modifier. We can start with the level 1 of subdivision. We can also press with the right mouse button and choose Shades Mode to make the shades look like this. Alright, we need more vertices in this part of the body, so we're gonna press Ctrl R again. Adjust the vertices. Now we can start creating the leg. We're gonna use these 3 faces here, and as we did before for the arm, we are gonna press I. We're gonna press I to insert, and then we're gonna move it forward a little bit. We move it, and then we press E to extrude, and we bring this face to the end of the leg. And we're gonna add more vertices here. It's better to hide the subdivision for a while so we can see clearly what we are doing. We add more vertices here. We can scale this part. Alright, now we are gonna need one more thing. We are gonna need more vertices here on this axis, so I'm gonna add one here, or maybe 2. Alright, As you can see, I only did the right part of the model because we were gonna mirror it. So, in order to mirror it, we are gonna delete half of this model. So I select these vertices, I press delete, and now to mirror it, we need to have the origin of our model in the middle, okay, of our mesh. In case you don't have the origin there, I'm gonna show you how to do it. You can select a vertex and press Shift S, cursor to selected, and then you go into object mode, object, set origin, origin to 3D cursor. And now you have the origin exactly where you need it, and you can add the mirror modifier. As you can see, we have a strange effect here. We don't want that, so what we're gonna do is simply move the modifier. Okay, now we can create the head of our characters. So we press Shift A and we create another cube and we position it here where the head is supposed to be. I press Ctrl 3. I press Ctrl 3 to activate the subdivision surface modifier with 3 levels of subdivision, and I immediately apply it because I need much more geometry to work with. I scale it roughly like this and I position it here. So now what we're gonna do basically is connect the head with the body. But first we want it to be a little scaled on the Z-axis, so I press S, Z, like this. Alright. Okay, now let's move it a little so we can see more clearly what we are doing, and I start by deleting some faces. Alright. I select these faces here. Okay, this should be enough. Alright. And I press delete faces. Okay. Okay, now we can select this head, then we press Shift and we select the body, and then we press Control. Sorry, no, before that we can apply the mirror modifier. So let's check that our body is completed. It's better to add more edges here on the arm since we want it to be able to move if we want to. Alright, maybe one here and here. Okay, I think it's fine. Let's just adjust this part here. I'm gonna delete it because we don't need it. I select this loop of faces here, okay, and I press S, Y, 0 to flatten it. Alright, our body is completed and we can apply the mirror modifier, so I press apply. Now we can select the head and then we shift, we select the body and we press Ctrl J. Now our mesh is joined. Alright. I can select the head by pressing a random vertex or edge and pressing L. This way he selects all the vertices connected. And I move it down. And now I need to start connecting the neck with the head. So I start by picking this edge here with Shift selected, I select this new edge and I press F to create a new face. I keep doing it. Alright, we actually connected all the vertices, but now we need to smooth our mesh a little. I suggest that we press sculpt mode, and with the smooth tool activated and with the mirror on the x-axis activated, we can start. But it's better to decrease the strength a little because we just want a very soft effect, nothing too evident. Okay. Yeah, I think it looks really, really nice. All right. Okay, now we can skip to the most funny part, probably, because we are gonna create the face and all the decoration on our gingerbread body. So I unhide the image, the reference image. We don't need the wireframe anymore. Oh, you're probably seeing something weird because here we see all the faces of our head, and here the shadow is very smooth, so we select with the right mouse button and we choose shade smooth, and it applies on all our 3D model. Let's see how it looks with the modifier. Really good. Okay. First of all, we are gonna create the eyes. That's very simple. Let's add a UV sphere. I'm gonna scale it. For now, at least, I move it up and I scale it on the Z axis. Also, let's choose shade smooth. I rotate it just a little bit. Okay. And I'm gonna duplicate it and scale it to create this other part. All right. Now I'm gonna select it and press Shift D in order to duplicate it. I move it and I rotate it again because it's specular. All right. Next up, the mouth. So in order to create all the decorations that are similar to curves, we are gonna use curves. So I'm gonna use a path. I move it here, I scale it, and here you can press Tab to activate the edit mode. And now we can select these vertices and move them to create a cute small mouth. Also, we can give it some depth by going here in the curve properties and increasing this value. Also, we want to fill curves, which means that these parts here are closed and not open. But you can also scale some parts of the curve. For example, you can press this vertex and press Alt. Sorry, and press Alt S. Sorry, and press Alt S, but in my case I'm gonna press Alt 1 because I had to change my shortcut. But I think the default shortcut is Alt S. So this part is now bigger than these two vertices here. We can make these ones smaller. All right. Don't forget to check if it's actually touching the face or if it's too far. And now the cheeks. As you probably already imagined, we just duplicate these spheres here. Obviously, we can use the mirror modifier for this part too. I just feel like I want some more natural and slightly not symmetrical character, but you can join all these parts to the body and use the mirror modifier again by deleting half of the character like we did before. All right. I'm gonna speed this part of the tutorial because you already saw how to create all these parts. Okay, I created all these decorations and I mirrored the ones that I needed. Before I mirror the curves, I'm gonna convert them into meshes. So I select all my curves here. I just leave one here because probably I'm gonna use it later. But I select all my curves and here I select convert mesh. Now as you can see they are made of vertices and they are not curves anymore. Alright, now we can mirror them. Okay, I did it. Sometimes it's better to apply all transform before you mirror something. You can do it by pressing Ctrl A, apply all transforms. This is probably useful when you, this is sometimes useful when you find out some errors when you add the mirror modifier. Okay, also I'm not gonna join all these parts to the main body for now, because in case you want to rig it, I find that it's somehow difficult to adjust. You know, when you create the rig, if you join all these little parts after you created the rig, the weights act a little weird. All right, so it's better to keep them separated if you can, or you'll have to probably adjust the weights by yourself. All right, so we just need to create the hair. I start with this curve here, but I don't need all these vertices, so for now I'm gonna delete some of them. Also, this is gonna be much more big than the other curves. Alright, the hair of our character is completed. Obviously, we are gonna convert these curves into mesh, but before we do it, we probably want to make them a little less, give them a little less resolution, so that when we convert them, they are not made of too many vertices, because it can be a little, you know, annoying when you're trying to move your character. Alright, so just a quick adjustment. Alright, so you select a curve, and here we can insert 8 and 2 in resolution here. It should be enough, I think. Yeah. Okay, now we can select all of them and press convert. Yeah, this level of vertices is totally fine. Okay, we already converted everything. And now we can start coloring our gingerbread man. This is the final look of my gingerbread man. As you can see, I changed the face a little bit because I wanted to be even cuter, so I added these two small spheres in the eyes and I moved the mouth higher, like this. Now I'm gonna show you how I created all the materials, which are very simple, very basic, and how I did the lightning for my 3D character. Let's start with the body. I go here in the shading viewport, alright? I created a simple slot material like this. And then I added a few simple nodes. In case you don't know how to create a new node in Blender, you just have to put your mouse here and press Shift A. And in search, you can type anything that you want. For example, a noise texture like this one. Okay, I'm gonna press Ctrl Z because I did something wrong. Okay, so Shift A, search, and you can search everything that you want. A color ramp, a mix RGB, a bump node, everything. So basically to create this effect of bumps and also these two, this color variation between dark brown and light brown, I used a noise texture, which looks like this. I increased the scale. You can use this node to adjust the texture exactly as you want. You can have it more sharp, you can have it more blended. The color ramp node is the purpose of the color ramp node is to adjust the noise texture. Then I connected this texture adjusted with the color ramp to the mix RGB. I used it as a factor to display these two colors, alright? So in the black parts we see one color, in the white parts we see the other color. And of course I attached it to the base color of my principal BSDF node. I also use this texture as an height for my bump node that I attached to my normal here, also in the principal BSDF, and this gives us this nice bump effect here, which seems a lot like, you know, a cookie. All the other materials are very simple, really super simple. For example, for the eyes, I just used a principal BSDF and I played with the specularity and roughness of my node. The hair is the same thing. This is my value, and here I added a small amount of subsurface because I wanted it to be, you know, looking like cream, like something very soft. And this is basically the same thing that I did for these candy buttons. No, actually here I didn't use the subsurface. I just used the specularity and the roughness, and I also did the same for the blue buttons. It's always a simple principle, BSDF. Okay, now let's skip to the lightning. Okay, as you can see here we have this is the word that we are using, 2 levels of strength, 2 points of strength, and this is the code of the color. This is the plane that I'm gonna use as a background. It also has a very simple material. This big area light here, it's illuminating the background of my plane so that it's not too dark when I render it. And these three lights here instead are only for my character. One here behind him. This is the color value and this is the power. Another one here on the right with this power, and another one much bigger here. I always use a warm light on one side and a cold light on the other side. And let's see how it looks rendered. Very, very cute. Okay, now we are finally ready to rig our character. So first of all, in case you don't know it, when you rig a character, it's always best to bend the knees and the arms a little bit, so that when you attach it to the rig knows exactly how the leg is supposed to bend and how the arms are supposed to bend. So let's go here in the profile view. I'm gonna select this vertex here. No, this vertex here. Yeah, we're gonna use proportional editing and I'm gonna bend them a little bit. Like this is totally enough. And also, let's see. First of all, let's check all these small errors before you start rigging your character. Don't be like me. Also, I think I forgot to convert the mouth. All right. So what were we saying here? Let's select the elbow, which it's probably this one. And I'm gonna move it backwards a little bit. All right, just a little bit. Make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be, that you don't see any errors. For example, here I have to move my decorations here and here. Okay. Also, you can now finally apply all the mirror modifiers. This is already applied. Here, apply and apply. Okay. We should be ready now. What are we gonna do? We're gonna press Shift A, and as you can see here we have the armature. Human meta rig. In case you don't see it, don't worry, you just have to enable it in the preferences. Let's see how you have to do it. You go here in File, no sorry, Edit, Preferences, Rigging, Rigify. As you can see, if I disable it, I don't see anything anymore. But if I enable it, so I go here in the add-ons and here in the search bar I write Rigify and I enable it. Then I close this window. Now if I press Shift A in Armature I have many options and I'm gonna choose Human Meta Rig. This creates this default human rig. Obviously, as you can see, it's too detailed, it has too many bones, we don't need them, and we're gonna delete everything and keep only the essential bones. First of all, I go here and I choose in Viewport Display. I check in front, which means that we are gonna see our rig, even if it's actually inside the character, we're still gonna see it in X-ray, basically. Okay, now we can start to work. First thing we're gonna do is delete all these bones here of the face. I select all of them and I press delete. Also the ears and this small bone here. I'm not able to select it, so first of all I'm gonna press this big bone here and press H to hide it. And now I select this one and I press delete. And now I can press Alt H to unhide this main bone. Same thing with all these fingers, we don't need them, so we delete all of them. Okay, now the last thing that we have to do is move our bones so that they match our character. This is the head, so it's supposed to be here. This is supposed to be at the end of the face. This should be the neck. These are the shoulders. We're gonna work on the right part of the rig and then mirror it. I move the shoulders. This is supposed to be the elbow and the hand. It's important that your bones are matching your character, especially in these parts here, like the elbow where the arm is going to bend. Okay, what I mean is, let's go here and choose wireframe. Okay, now we are seeing the geometry of our character. So basically it's better to place this part here here where we have these edge loops, so our arm is going to bend here around this edge loop. Okay, not just place it here randomly in the center of the face. Okay, now I'm gonna work with the legs. Let's place it here. This is our knee. Okay, how to mirror our rig. You select all the bones on one side and you go here in armature, symmetrize. Alright. Remember to bend the bones here and on the knees. I think we are ready. I'm gonna mirror it a last time. Okay. And now I'm gonna generate the actual Rigify rig. So first of all, we want to apply all transforms to this rig. Let's select these two bones here, sorry, this one, and I press Shift S and I place the cursor here in the middle. Now I press Ctrl A and I apply all transforms. Then I press Set Origin to 3D Cursor, and now I press Generate Rig. As you can see, the rig is generated, but it's positioned in the wrong position. But it's okay, you can just press Shift S, Selection to Cursor. And now we have it right where we want it. We can hide the meta rig because we don't need it anymore. And now we're gonna skip to the funny part, which is attach our character to the rig. You can proceed step by step, so you can press the body and attach it to the rig and then proceed with the hair, but I prefer to select everything at once and be sure that the active element is the rig. So you press Shift and you select the rig again, then you press Ctrl P, set parent to, and you press with automatic weights. This is gonna take a while because it's calculating everything. And let's see. Okay, we can deselect the wireframe now. Let's see how it works. Let's see if our character moves correctly. It appears so. Yeah. Seems like he's moving quite well. Let's check the legs. They are here. Okay, they also move very well. Okay, let's see a little more in detail how this rig works in case you never worked with a rig like this. So first of all, you can select it, and in order to move the bones, you just go here and press pose mode, or you can press Ctrl Tab. Okay? You can also press here in front to see every single bone. Sometimes you don't see some controllers because they are the same color of your character, so you can go back to this view. Now I select a random controller and I move it with G around like this. You can also press R to rotate it. I don't know why you should do it, but you can also press S to scale it. Okay? And if you are not satisfied with this transformation, you can clear it. Okay, you can go back to the default position of this bone. You just have to go here and choose pose, clear transformation, and choose if you want to clear the local, rotation or scale, or everything that you did to this controller. Or you can use the shortcuts, which I do all the time, which are Alt S or Alt R or Alt G. In this case, Alt G. Also, you have to press Alt R, but I'm gonna do it from here because for some reason now it's not working. Okay. And in case you're wondering how to animate this, it's very simple. You just select a ball, a controller like this one, and you press I and you choose what you want to you choose the frame that you want to create. What keyframe do you want to insert? Location, rotation, scale, everything. Let's choose everything. Okay. You can also select this button here, which means that every time that you move or do some transformation of any type, it's gonna automatically create a keyframe, and it's very useful. But it can also be a little tricky sometimes, so remember when you have it activated. Then I move in time like this, and I choose to bend it. And if I go back, now I have an animation. Location, rotation, scale, and I bend my head like this. And now you can animate your gingerbread man however you want. I hope that this tutorial was funny and helpful, and I really hope that you're gonna create so many gingerbread characters. And please, in case you do, you can tag me if you want, because I really love to see all the works that you create inspired by my tutorials, and I love to share them on my social pages. And also please remember to like this video and to follow me. And please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because this really helps me to go on with this project. And bye, we're gonna see each other in the next tutorial.